Okay.
Oh, I'm wearing my red
We
shorts
have
tonight.
an excellent connection,
Good
so we
for
can get
you.
started. Someone want to go? Or is it me?
Are we on the internet?
Yeah, we're on the internet.
Hello,
Looks like it.
Internet. Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Knights of the Drunk Watch. We are here to do our talk back of
Alright.
Season 3. Oh my gosh.
Season
Season 2
2.
This is what happens when we don't have Andrew here. We're missing a couple people tonight, but they'll be here later.
yeah.
Do it. So we're here to talk about House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 3, The Burning Mill.
all of those.
Yes.
Yes, all of those things that were just said.
I am checking to make sure that we're good. We should be good.
Okay, so you're ready to dive into it. So Andrew is not.
Wait, hang on.
Oh,
Oh. So,
we have to do the thing.
introductions. I'm Travis.
I'm Mark.
I'm Kate,
We're the Knights of the Drunk Watch.
and now our talk begins. Okay,
All right. So
start. I'm gonna do Andrew's first.
Andrew had an
Way.
Andrew
Andrew had a nugget because he's very focused
on the
intro.
opening credit.
Right. It's very important. So he wanted it to be known that in the last episode, Helena's tapestry updated to include the funeral of the prince and the massacre of the rat catchers. So we got a little bit of extra murder at the end of the tapestry.
So it is nice to see that, as per the original Game of Thrones, the opening credits does adjust and change in very small increments if you pay close attention. Awesome. Okay.
All right.
Nugget covered.
So, all right, hold on. I'm going to set that down. All right. So the episode is titled "The Burning Mill," and it was interesting. And they open up with a scene between the Brackens and Blackwoods, whom are families we have never met before, but are quarreling with each other. And then an epic battle happens that we don't see anything of.
And presumably they're all dead now.
Yeah.
It was just slaughter. Like they were like, "Oh, we're mad at each other," and then it was sword through the neck.
Yeah. And it was
On a
so it's
battlefield.
interesting on a couple of levels because first off, as much as we know the audience is like, when can we see war and battles already?
With dragons.
And they skipped over a whole battle. But it was also the fact that we did not know these people. It would not have been that interesting to watch them battle it out. Like, who's good, who's bad, we don't know what. Um, but it's interesting now because this war that is happening between the Targaryens, like the royal family itself, now is affecting the common folk out in Westeros and the Riverlands.
And also because it's been so like inconsistent or not like thought out, they are on the same like in the same family, but they're like, "Oh, we don't agree with each other." So murder clearly. Like cuz they're having trouble establishing the Riverlands or wherever, and so since they're struggling with that, the different families within that land is like, "I don't know. We feel what
Yeah.
we feel, so we're going to murder you because of it."
Well, because I mean, and this is something Rhaenys had. She's been saying this, but she had a really good monologue too about that ties directly to this. Is that talking to Rhaenyra and saying they will soon forget what started this war in the first place. Because when exactly did it start? Was
Right.
it because you know the young prince was killed in his crib? Oh, is it because Luke was killed on his dragon by Vagar? Oh, is it because they stabbed the eye out? And it's talking about just seeds being planted. And then they mentioned with the Brackens versus Blackwoods, they're like, they've been feuding for centuries. Nobody even knows why they are fighting. It's
Like
just
the Hatfields and McCoys. Someone said it
Yeah.
when we were watching it. It's like, yeah, like these families are just fighting because they always have.
yeah. So they can't trust each other and they fight just to fight.
And they just happen to be on either sides of the Targaryen conflict, thus start the
Yeah.
war.
So I mean, and I think this is something that will come into play as we progress because now it's no longer just the Targaryen civil war. Other lords and families of Westeros are now being drawn into this fight.
But we also get to see, like, start to see Aegon's shitty leadership of like, oh hell yeah,
Oh
here's a
my
battle.
god.
Did we win? Fuck yes, like, we did it. It's like, well, we also lost a lot of. He's like, nah.
Is it- Yeah, so this is interesting. So now we have Sir Kristen Cole, fuck you.
With his whole necklace of hands.
Yeah, and so now Kristen is the hand of the king, and Aegon now is doing what we all know is the stupidest thing to do. He is filling the King's Guard with his buddies.
With his horny buddies.
Yeah, so no, I mean, to join the King's Guard, that is a sacred thing. That is supposed to be
It's
a
like
high
20 frat
honor.
boys. And
Yeah.
they're all just like, hey, I'm a Kingsguard now. And he's like, well, you can't fuck. They're like, wait,
What? They're
not
like,
really.
what? Clear, they signed up for this not knowing. It's like, this is for life. You must give your life to protect the king and the royal family. And also, yeah, you don't get to screw the ladies anymore, allegedly. Well,
Allegedly.
you can't father children.
You can fuck the queen.
Yeah, but yeah. But Kristen, I think as we see now.
We have someone who said hello, Z Force. Said hello to all
Hello,
of us.
Z-Force.
Oh, hello. Thank you for joining us. So I think Kristen as Han versus Otto. Otto understands the need for diplomacy. Is that the right word? As far as you write letters, you send ravens, you make allies, and you say, "Hey, if you join our forces, hey, maybe we can give you this or this, or maybe I'll owe you a favor, or something like that."
Yeah,
In
it's like
words,
general diplomacy.
but now Kristen is act now. Who cares what the consequences are? He's like, stabby stab now, ask questions later.
Well, because he's very much like he knows what is correct and right. Knows, and he's gonna act on that no matter what, regardless if that is helpful for the realm.
Well, because that's the kind of king that Aegon is. So I mean, as opposed to his father Viserys, Viserys was very much he was impartial. He was not quick to make decisions because he was trying so hard to please everyone. But now we have Aegon, who, in his defense, his son was just murdered in his cradle. So yes, he is mad, he is grieving, and he wants justice, but he's lashing out and not thinking it through what the consequences of these actions.
Yeah.
Um,
Or he doesn't. Yeah, he knows the immediate consequence, but he's not thinking about like
I'm
everything
not thinking
else.
long terms and how this is going to
Yeah.
affect everyone else.
And I don't think. Yeah, I don't think anybody has that. Like the lower people on the small council do, maybe, but Otto had that, even if his view of what should
Yeah.
be was skewed to
Otto
help
has
him and
that.
his family.
And I would say Rhaenyra has more of her dad's approach. Let's be a little bit slower. Let's be a little bit cautious. Don't commit to anything because once you commit to it, can't come back from it. So yeah,
Yeah,
you see
and
Rhaenyra. We see Rhaenyra not backpedaling, but trying to pause and let things, continue to do all the things that her dad would have done.
Exactly.
And then she gets questioned by some of her counsel, and she puts the stop down on that quickly. Which all the while we keep seeing Rhaenys just smirk in the background, and it's kind of good.
Yes, Rhaenys is being the best. I love her. All right, but here, I would like to discuss Rhaenyra in a
Great.
moment. But first, shall we discuss the brothel scene?
I don't think we need to discuss it too much.
Not too much. I would just like to say one thing. So, on the internet, articles I've read, there has been backlash because people saw penises.
What?
And everyone
Have
is,
they watched this before?
I don't know, apparently everyone is super offended by that. To which I have to say, wait a second. You watched a show in which a small innocent child was murdered and beheaded in their crib. You were okay with that. You continued watching it, but then you saw a penis.
Who actually got mad about penises though? Like that goes to the theme song, aren't
Wiener, wiener, wiener,
they?
wiener, wiener.
So
I don't know, apparently, no, that's just a thing that happens. It was a random article. I have no idea who wrote it, but of course, all the fans were siding with the writers and the showrunners and everything, being like, okay, they were just like, oh, a penis that was taken too far. Nobody warned us about that. It's like, you saw the nudity and strong sexual content warning at the beginning.
Well, I think what you found some random stupid fucking article, but I do think that scene did show us again how much Aemon should be king out of the two brothers. Like Aegon was being shitty with every moment of that scene, and Aemon could have lost his shit. And
Killed
he was just
everybody.
like, kill, yeah, he could have killed he could have gone on a rampage,
he
and
is
he
the
just
one.
said, you fucker, and left. Like, damn, little brother.
Mm.
That's way better than whatever the fuck Aegon was doing in that whole scene of just being a
Oh no! It wasn't
dick.
just his penis. It was. Remember, we saw the rock.
Penises.
Yeah.
Penis. Anyway, I know that's not important. I just wanted to comment on it.
You found a stupid article and now you've given them way too much energy.
Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra.
Okay, so we finally got the freaking conversation we've been waiting for with Rhaenyra sneaking into King's Landing and speak to Alicent. Now, another article I read.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, it was people commenting. What are your opinions?
What are your opinions?
Yeah,
I don't need to know what the articles
you
are.
want
I
to
can read
talk
the
about?
articles.
Oh, well, they didn't have penises, so nobody cared. I'm kidding. I'm gonna stop. Um, no, they said about the whole Pfeiffer, do not do it. So the whole conversation, yes, they finally discussed. Oh,
Because we were just waiting, right?
the
We were just
Song of
waiting
Ice
for them
and
to talk about the
Fire,
prince that was
the prince
promised.
that was
Yeah.
promised. But that didn't make any difference because I think for Alicent, first off, she's too far in this now. But not only that, is that Alicent doesn't have any power anymore. She said, her father is gone. She might have been able to discuss with her father as hand to be like, hey, let's do this, this, or this. But as we can see, she has no control of Aegon. Now, Kristen is taking control of things, and he's just all shed blood. Who cares about diplomacy? Just kill everyone. Now he's like, oh, I'm going to go through the Riverlands, and I'm going to expect people to bend the knee to Aegon. If they don't, I'm going to kill them and burn their houses. But also,
I'm a little torn because I was even thinking about this earlier in our brief conversation of like, where would we say it started? But it's already begun. So how do you actually stop it at this point? Like, there's no like. Yes, we know now that Alicent knows that she fucked up by being like, oh yeah, Viserys said that my son was needed to be king.
Mm-hmm.
But how would she back at this point? Pfeiffer, no man. You can get love or you can go away, but barking is not the option.
Yeah.
well, I mean, truth is, she can't back down now, even if she wanted to. Sorry, I'm taking the dog.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I feel like there's a lot of heat about in that moment of like, oh, Alicent, you dumb bitch, why aren't you listening to reason? But what would she do?
Yeah, see, and then this was the other thing is that yes, Rhaenyra came to her and said, let's end this, but also Rhaenyra did not offer her anything. It's like, if she came to her and be like, hey, maybe if I do this, can you do this? And we will cease this. Like Rhaenyra just kind of said,
You
stop
fucked
this.
up. You're wrong.
But did not make any sort of offer or compromise or anything, like something that could make Allison think, oh, maybe I should back down and do that.
But in order to back down, she would have to then be like, oh, Aegon, just come here a second. No more king for you. And that's never going to happen with that child.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no, because he got a taste of it. Because remember, it started with
they chanted his name.
It started with him not wanting to do it. They're like, oh wait, if I go to rallies, people chant my name, and I have unlimited power. Who wants that?
It's more kind of like, Alicent is like, all right, cool. Well, I was wrong. Guess what? Can't do anything about it. And it's like, well, no, screw you. I mean, you can obviously try to do everything now to get Rhaenyra on the throne and stop your stupid son, who was never trained to do this anyways. Um, but yeah, no, it's just Alicent being like, well, my daddy's not here, so I'm weak. And, that kind of sucks. But, it's just one of those.
But if you
I don't think Rhaenyra had to be like, well, I can give you this. No, she
no,
now knows exactly
you
what's
know,
wrong.
Travis, what would you tell Alicent to do to try and stop it? Like if you were Otto Hightower and you were still a hand, what would you do?
Well, that's the thing. Otto Hightower would be like, who cares? Like
No,
everybody's now
that's not what
pledged
she asked you.
loyalty. Everybody's pledged loyalty to your
Answer
son, so
the
you can't
question.
change it. No, I answered Kate's question. What would Otto Hightower say?
No, if
No,
you
what would you do?
were of Otto Hightower as the hand, what would you
Oh,
do?
if I had the power of Otto Hightower,
Yeah.
from Otto Hightower's perspective, I'm going to say I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, see, but
Because
okay.
Otto Hightower's
question.
still got power. I mean,
But
daughter's the
I
queen
guess
regent.
what I'm saying is if we're mad at Alicent, what would be a feasible step for her to take to try and back it up?
Put her son on a dragon, let him go fly around and fight, watch him die.
All right, now we're talking. That could
Problem
be a
is, though,
move.
once that happens, you've either got this other unknown son,
Darren.
Darren, popping up onto the throne, or you've got Aemon taking control. And when Aemon takes control, there ain't going to be no crazy stuff. Aemon's just like Daemon. They want to go fight. They're like, pull up the dragons. Like, this is an internal thing. It doesn't need to involve the country. Just have us go at each other with dragons.
I mean, well, see, that's an interesting point because
10 minutes.
okay.
Oh, less than that. We'll do 5.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up in a moment. I mean, the reason Viserys named, and they had this conversation, the reason Viserys named Rhaenyra as his heir was to protect the throne from Daemon because he knew Daemon is a warrior, he's a wild card, and he was afraid of what Daemon would do
Yeah.
with unlimited power.
I mean, if there's nobody to fight, there's no worry.
They might find someone to fight, though.
Yeah, but they would have found somebody as a group potentially. Anyways, regardless, let's jump on to Daemon. Daemon arrives at Harrenhal. It's raining. It's empty.
Oh
Someone
my
shows up and it's kind of like, I'm here to claim this. And they're kind of like,
Okay. You want some food?
well,
Yeah,
sure.
dinner's
do you want some
venison
soup?
tonight. Have a seat. And then he's all afraid of it being poisoned and be like, dude.
They ain't got time.
Although I gotta say, if you want to know why Harrenhal's probably cursed, it's probably all the mold that they are breathing. Like there's water everywhere. It's just right. It's so leaky and it's definitely covered in mold. And everyone's just getting sick and dying all the time.
Yeah. And Harrenhal technically falls under the Riverlands, doesn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
Harrenhal is. It's sort of right in this central area. It is the largest castle in Westeros, even though it is in need of very much repair. But it is sort of the central between King's Landing and all the surrounding castles of the Riverlands. So
Yeah.
it is considered, yeah, I
But
mean,
Harrenhal's saying basically, he's like, you're going to have to go find, Tully. And Tully is apparently an old codger at, River Run. No, River Run. What am I talking about? No,
you're right.
sorry,
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm crossing Lord of the Rings.
No.
River Run, which nobody's gotten to yet. There's almost a point where Christian Cole and what's her face's brother shows up.
Oh,
Allison's
yeah.
brother,
What, Sir
shows up.
Gawain?
Sir Gawain, everybody was joking about.
Mhm.
We'll see. We'll see about that. But Kristen Cole's a good tactician, but again, he just wants to fight. So I'm hoping Kristen
He's out
Cole's
for
going to
blood.
dig himself a grave, and Allison's going to get to bury him in it as payback. And then, yeah, no, we'll see what happens next. Hopefully, this time we get some dragons fighting.
Well, again, not because I've read the books, just by seeing the next week on, seeing the images that they've shown of this week's episode, there were a lot of shots of dragons, so we are really hoping to see some dragon fighting tonight.
Dragon on dragon action. That's what we're hoping for.
It's going to be brutal. It's going to be fire and Blue.
Anything else?
I think we
I
did
think
it.
that's about
I
it.
think we did it.
I think we did it.
I hope you are all excited as we are to watch tonight's episode. So we are going to take a wee break
Well,
while
y'all watch the
while you
episode.
watch the
And
episode.
then once it's done at about 9:15, we will start our episode.
Reminder, you will not see the episode if you watch our reaction.
You will see these
You will
faces.
see these faces. There were 3.
they're pretty faces. Well, there
And-
will be
and then
at
one
least
more,
one more
yes.
face here tonight.
But no show.
No show.
We can't.
Just a lot of screaming.
Copyright is copyright issues. We would love to have it like in the corner as we watch, but we can't.
But please join us. Say hi. We'll be watching the chat. We'll be talking about it. If you got any opinions after they happen, let us know them. We can discuss them as we're watching it. Love to hear all that stuff. We're here for you guys. Anything else?
I think we're good.
All right. We are the Knights of the Drunk Watch.
And now our talk has ended.